Invasive plants are overwhelming. As land managers, we feel hopeless at times, watching invasive plants take over the places that we love. Recent work by National Park Service scientists showed that in 39 national parks in the eastern U.S., 80% of the parks had increasing abundance of invasive species, with Japanese stiltgrass as the worst offender. But in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to tell you how to protect your natural areas and succeed at invasive species management. We can tackle invasive species through 3 main actions. Early detection and rapid response is one of the most cost-effective strategies for invasive species management, focused on preventing invasives from establishing or eliminating species when they first establish, before the plants take over. For plants that are already abundant through large areas, biological controls are the only realistic remaining treatment option. Early detection and biocontrols each deserve their own videos, but the strategy I'm going to focus on today is managing your special places. I'm going to walk you through a tool that will direct your limited resources towards protecting the most important places in your natural area. This tool was developed by Art Gover at the Wild and Weed Management Program at Pennsylvania State University, and it takes land managers through a couple of steps. First, define your habitat management zones. You have finite resources. You want to protect the best areas in your natural area and focus your efforts on ecologically significant places. The zones you create should be operationally feasible, places where you're able to manage invasive species. The habitat management zones won't cover the entire natural area. In fact, the plan will be more useful if you exclude any areas that won't or can't be managed for invasive plants. Second, use available data to plan strategically. If you don't have any data on invasive species, spend the first summer collecting data on the invasives in the habitat management zones. These data are inputted into the tool, which prioritizes which species and zones should be treated. Third, work with experts on invasive species control to develop specific treatments for the priority species and zones. The tool itself is an Excel spreadsheet with a series of tabs and embedded macros that transfer data between the tabs and tabulate priorities. Since not many of us like staring at spreadsheets, here's the gist of how it works. First, rank your habitat management zones on their ecological and cultural importance. Then, enter your invasive species presence and abundance data for each zone. Other important information about invasive species are already coded into the tool. You can change those values if you'd like, but you don't need to do extensive research on the life history of all invasive plants in order to use this plan. Using some simple arithmetic on the values you entered, the tool calculates a priority matrix for which zones and species should be managed in your park. Places that are low ecological value and overrun by invasive species are low priorities. Areas that have high ecological value and would take reasonable effort to manage are high priorities. Now that you have management priorities, work with an invasive species expert to determine the prescriptions for how the high priority invasive should be treated. Best management practices for only the highest priorities will be highlighted by the tool, specifying who will do the treatments and how it will be done. The tool then generates a calendar of activities for these prescriptions to guide when the activities should occur. And now you have a plan to protect your natural area. This is what the final output of the tool looks like: specific treatment prescriptions for high priority invasives and zones with details of who, when, where, and how. The main question you're probably asking is, does this work? Yes. We have created 9 plans for national parks so far, ranging from West Virginia to Massachusetts, with more parks slated for planning this winter. The Chief of Natural Resources at Richmond National Battlefield recently told me, "This planning helped guide our invasive management activities so they were more effective, not so willy-nilly." Park staff at Minuteman National Historical Park in Massachusetts related, "The tool not only helped us decide where to work, it helped us decide where not to work. We realized we were spending a lot of time at roadside areas that were not our highest priority. The plan helped us refine our approach and improve our efficiency." You can succeed at invasive species management when you prioritize the most ecologically valuable places where invasive treatment is possible. Here are more links to information, and don't give up hope.